Well-known author, investment banker, consumer advocate, analyst, trader. Chris Markowski is the watchdog on Wall Street.
You want answers?
Exposing the lies and myths that the big brokerage firms, the mainstream press, and the government are pushing to keep Americans away from financial freedom.
You can't handle the truth.
Bringing America the truth about what really happens in the financial world.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're not here to indulge in fantasy, but in political and economic reality.
This is the Watchdog on Wall Street.
So, welcome everybody. Welcome. Obviously, much to discuss this week here on the Watchdog on Wall Street show. I already been looking at the email box over the course of the week with questions, comments on my podcast, election coverage, what it means. We're going to get into all that today on the program. We're going to delve into that. Obviously important, but really, how important is it? That's the question. That's why, again, media wants to make this massive, huge, ginormous deal. And I just want to caution everybody who's looking way too far in to what happened all across the country right now and try to extrapolate this or play this out into 2022 or 2024. I did the whole Shrek impression this past week on the podcast. Those dates are far, far away. Okay? Long way to go. We'll get into that. But I want to start off today, again, talk a little bit about financial planning. And, again, it's going to take a little bit of a trip down memory lane. There was a couple publications pointed this out. There was a 1999 book that proclaimed that the Dow would hit 36,000. 36. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen next week. It was going to happen soon. Yeah. They said, well, maybe 3 to 5 years. Again, October 1st, 1999, that book came out. At the time, the Dow was hovering around 10,000. Got 22 years later, this past week, the Dow hit 36,000. And the authors of the book, at some degree, coming out saying, well, you know, we weren't exactly right on the timing, but eventually we were right. Okay, guys, come on. Okay, spare me. Yeah, actually, one of them then came out and put out, well, if you had listened and you just bought an S&P 500 index fund, you'd be up 500% from 1999 to today. I get all that. I get all that. But when you come out and you make ridiculous predictions like this, and people buy into them, and you see a stock market crash like we did, the dot-com collapse, you get unsophisticated investors that freak out, that can't handle it. And again, they delve into things that maybe that they shouldn't, and you wipe them out. It's so many irresponsible people with their predictions. I've been doing this radio show for 20 years plus. Not once have you ever seen me give a buy, sell, or hold here on the program. It's not what we do. It's not what we do. We're here to teach you how to prepare for life, how to get your finances in order. Yes, do we put together portfolios? Of course we do. But the reality of the situation is everyone's situation in particular is unique and different. Everyone's portfolio is unique and different. It's based upon their wants, their needs, their wishes, where they want to go at that point in time, what their family wants. There's so many different things that are involved with this. Not to mention the fact, they come out and they talk about, 500% from then until now. Again, hold on. Hold your horses here. All these indices change over time. Anyway, I talked about this years ago, pointed out here on the program. The top performing asset class ever it's not gold for all you gold bugs out there, or you people think that your gold coins are going to be worth a fortune. Okay? That's not it. You can go back over 200 years stocks. You know what the average is? 6.5 to 7% above inflation. That is the return. That's, again, talking about reinvesting dividends. That's the highest performing asset class out there. One of the issues that we're running into today is, again, you're talking about overinflation. Inflation is a lie. The lie that the government keeps putting out there, the 5%, 4 point something, we all know that's nonsensical at this point in time. I got a stack of stories from this past week, various different food companies, this conglomerate, that conglomerate. We're raising prices 7% next year. We're raising prices 10% next year. Yet they keep telling you, inflation's 4%. We're going to get it under control. Now, these are issues that need to be dealt with, not to mention the fact that you're not getting any return whatsoever. You're actually losing money on risk-free assets. This is the dynamic. This is the terrain that we've been dealing with for some time now. And unfortunately, it's changed things. It really has. It's changed things. It's changed how you have to go about thinking in regards to your investments. It changes pension funds out there, what they have to do in order to stay ahead. Again, they have to keep a certain amount of money in cash on a regular basis. Going back to 1999, 1998, 1999, you can see some of the columns. Before I had a radio show, I was just doing guest appearances. See some of the columns that I wrote back then, warning people about the rise in some of these .com companies and the need to take profits and reallocate. I'm just telling you that 6.5% above inflation is not good enough. It's not good enough right now. It's not. Because, again, we all know the numbers that they're giving us are garbage. You have to do better. You have to do better, or you have to, in essence, you have to reevaluate here. Again, this is something that we encounter on a regular basis all the time. Week in, week out, people signing up for our personal CFO program. We're going over everything, and many of them have got set dates when they want to retire. And we've got to present to them, whoa. That's all well and good, but you've got to put a hell of a lot more money away if you want to get to that point and to live the life that you want to lead, that what you're telling us you want to lead. And again, it's amazing to me, how some of these people and how these portfolios are handled at various different outfits all around the country. This almost set it and forget it type of an attitude. No, you can't do that. You have to be nimble. You have to take profits when they're there. You need to reallocate assets. Sell-offs, corrections happen, and they're okay. You just have to have the ability to take advantage of them. I read this past week, and I thought that this was an interesting way of putting the situation today. Because we talk about millionaires and we talk about billionaires, and we'll get into taxes a little bit later on in the program. There's a big difference. And again, I think that many people don't realize it. They haven't gotten their arms around it completely. $1 billion. $1 billion is 1,000 million. 1,000 million. And guess what? If you have $1 billion, whatever it may be, not many people have $1 billion cash, but if it was invested and you're getting a 1% return on your money, it's $10 million a year. That'll go pretty far, right? $1 million right now. $1 million right now, risk-free assets. Risk-free assets. You're getting, let's just put this into perspective. You're getting about $200 a week. $200 $5 a week. That's what your $1 million is getting you in risk-free return right now. Get your arms around that. It's not the 1980s, 1990s anymore. And I'm not Mary Poppins, no spoonful of sugar to make the medicine go down. But most people fail to realize this. They start thinking, $1 million up. What? $1 million? What's that going to get you? I mean, you're going to have to draw down. Yeah, the goal is, and what we try to do, and it's, again, this is all possible, okay? If you do things the right way, is you want to build up a portfolio that pays you. That you can live off of. Nobody wants to look at their portfolio every single month. I can't tell you how many people have to do this. I can't tell you how many people, what do I got to sell? I got to pay bills. What do I have to sell? Are you kidding me? That's completely the wrong thing to do. You got to look at that. What happens if the stock market sells off? What if we have a mini crash? Everything goes down 18, 20%. And you got to scramble to decide with everything that's down in your portfolio what you have to sell so you can pay your bills? People, you need to get your financial house in order. Okay? You need to get you got to prepare properly. This is what our personal CFO program is all about. I mention it week in, week out. I haven't really discussed it that much. Again, you go to our website, watchdogonwallstreet.com. You can sign up for it there. Basically, the entire concept is you're going to have full access to everything that we do, everything, and all the people that work with us, lawyers, accountants, you name it. And it's for everybody. And that's the difference. You don't need to walk in the door with $10 million to work with the Markowskis. That's not how we operate. So we've never operated that way. You need to learn how to navigate all of the ups and downs, storms, corrections, volatility. The ability to recognize and avoid serious risk. The ability to discern the difference between conventional wisdom, the conventional wisdom of the day, and the reality of the terrain. Where are the best yields, the best safe yields out there? And how do you go about applying these safe yields in essence, a zero rate environment? I mean, we've seen it. We've basically seen it all in our careers. And you're going to learn how we position our clients throughout all of this. We're going to take a quick break right here. We're going to get back. I'm going to get into, saw a couple of these articles this past week. Mistakes people make when choosing a financial advisor. Things you need to look into. WatchDogOnWallStreet.com is our website. And again, I invite each and every one of you to take advantage of all the great stuff that we have at our site. Of course, our personal CFO program. Also invite you to sign up for our podcast. I'm loving this. Podcast is booming. More and more people sign up every single day. It's been like a slow growth over the past several years, but man, we're starting to boom right now. All sorts of great stuff. Get to our website, watchdogonwallstreet.com, or give us a call, 800-471-5984. We'll be back.
The king of the world.
Bringing America financial freedom one listener at a time. You're listening to the Watchdog on Wall Street with Chris Markowski.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It is the Watchdog on Wall Street show. I've been hearing them a lot lately. A lot of advertisements. The advertisements are coming back. The big brokerage firms and massive advisory firms, huge advertising campaigns across television and radio around the country. And I have to laugh. I do. I have to laugh because I know. I know what happens. People end up getting roped into these things. They end up spinning their wheels. You know, think of my cousin Vinny. You know, when they're stuck in the mud, the Alabama mud, and the tires keep spinning and spinning and spinning. Well, yeah, people do that for years and years and years, working with incompetent people. And the most important thing, one of the most important things when it comes to investments is time. I talk about this when I teaching kids. I say, you know, grab your compounding calculator. Grab your compounding calculator and play around with it a little bit and see how important time is. When you're wasting time, when you're spinning your wheels in the mud, your investments are spinning their wheels, you're not going anywhere, you're wasting that time. The power of compounding. Power of compounding, it works. Every single time it's tried. Don't believe me? Play with a compounding calculator. See for yourself. We get all of these, you know, these accounts that mud's been spinning, wheels spinning in the mud for a long time from all of these major firms. This is where they're constantly rolling in account transfer after account transfer after account transfer, where we have to completely rebuild these. And again, people, we're not miracle workers. We're not. Never have been. When we first started out, it's a true story. We first started out with Markowski Investments. My brothers and I, we were going after particularly people who were really hit hard. All of those victims of the boiler room operators out there, the Wolf on Wall Street types. Again, every single time I see that guy, they bring him on Fox Business all the time. Jordan Belfort. I know. It ticks me the hell off because I had to clean up his mess. And he wasn't the only one. He wasn't the only crook that was out there, but that's what we did. We were cleaning up their mess. We had our account repair kit, which we still have, where people absolutely wiped out, accounts down 50%, 75%. And you know how difficult that is? Because, again, people want their money back like this. They think as fast as they lost it, they can make it back, and that's just not the case. Portfolio's down 50%. You've got to see 100% to get back to where you were. And if you keep doing the same dumb things you were before, guess what? You're going to lose another 50%. Anyway, how to hire competent and trustworthy advisor. It's part of teaching that we've been doing for years here, and it's actually a part. It's on our Markowski Investments website, and I always go back to it's back to 2005, 2006. I can't remember the exact year. Warren Buffett, in his annual report, put out. He wrote it almost like a want ad. Wanted. A young man or woman with the potential to manage a very large portfolio. Again, he was obviously talking about Berkshire Hathaway. But this is what you want. Because guess what? Your portfolio, it's large to you. It's large to you. You want to hire somebody that is genetically programmed to recognize and avoid serious risk, including the proverbial black swans, the things that seem to come out of nowhere. You want somebody that is an independent thinker, somebody that has emotional stability. And it's important too, okay? An understanding of both human and institutional behavior. When I talk about human behavior, it is understanding the fight or flight response in human beings that make them awful investors. Awful investors. And again, if you're new to this program, you can go back to every major calamity, market crash, whether it be COVID, whether it be the Great Recession, whether it be the dot-com. Doesn't make any difference. Listen to the things that we were telling you here on the program, the things that we were preaching here on the program, trying to navigate, trying to guide people through. Not to freak out, not to believe that the end of the world was coming, but to take advantage of what was happening at that point in time. It's unfortunate. It really is. Most people, they still can't understand the buy low, sell high concept. Anyway, we're going to take another quick break right here. Get a little bit further into this. And yes, a lot. We got to go. We got to get into the politics. People love it when I do politics here on the program. Got to get into politics of the week. Some of the domestic issues as well. WatchdogOnWallStreet.com. Again, WatchdogOnWallStreet.com is our site. Sign up for all of our free goodies and giveaways right there. The Markowski Investments Personal CFO Program. WatchdogOnWallStreet.com or give us a call, 800-471-5984.
Taking Wall Street's liars, crooks, and cheats out behind the woodshed. You're listening to the Watchdog on Wall Street.
There must be some kind of way out of here.
Welcome back, everybody. Listen, no matter where you are, what the size, what the situation is, the things that we're telling you here on the program, these are applicable across the board. I mentioned Warren Buffett. Berkshire Hathaway is its own unique situation. The company wasn't built overnight by any stretch. And you take a look at the performance over the years. Again, Berkshire Hathaway can get involved in private companies and do a myriad of other things, not to mention the fact, Warren Buffett knows what's going on in Washington, D.C., which benefits him as well. But the idea, in essence, of managing and limiting risk by finding value. Okay? That is what you need to do. Looking for value. Again, this goes to the old Benjamin Graham, intrinsic value. You want to buy below when an asset is its intrinsic value. You want to sell when it's above. These are important things. Again, this is why if I have fundamentally sound companies in my clients' portfolios. I have fundamentally sound companies in my clients' portfolios, and let's say we wake up next week and the market crashes. We're down 20. We're down 25%. I'm not freaking out. Now, again, certain clients might get a little bit nervous, and we're going to have to hold people's hands. We do that. But you need to ask yourself your question, what's changed with the companies that you own? Are you really concerned? Does it really matter to you where these companies are today, or does it matter where they're going to be 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road? Let me tell you something. We're not always right. Sometimes things change. Sometimes new technology changes. Bad executives, whatever it may be. The fundamentals change. That's when you sell out of an entire position. That's when you change. You can't base. You cannot make investment decisions based upon short-term market fluctuations. Year in, year out, there'll be some volatility. Wasn't that long ago? It was September. Oh, it's a rough month. What's going to happen? You go back and you listen to what these pundits were saying on TV. All of a sudden, things start to turn around a little bit, and oh my lord, the temperature changes. Jim Cramer is saying something completely opposite than what he was the month before. Yeah, they love going to the microphone. Again, we talk about this here on the program all the time. Conventional wisdom is poison. What they teach you is poison. They're not interested in long-term financial planning. They want you in the stock, out of the stock. They want you paying attention to their programming all the time. Yeah, we make fun of it. You look at various different websites, market sell-off. Got to go to the stock photography. All the traders holding their heads, freaking out. Sky's falling. World's going to end. Oh, no. Markets are up. Oh, we got smiley, happy traders on the floor. Over time, guess what? You're going to see some extraordinary things when it comes to the markets. You're going to see some bizarre things in the markets. Bizarre. It popped into my head. Do you remember the flash crash? Was it 2010? 2010. Hey, you know what the conventional wisdom was at the time? It was a trader's fat finger started the whole thing. Yeah, it's a fat finger. And I'm looking at these, what's happening in the markets at that point in time, none of it making any sense whatsoever. And what do we say? We say, take a couple steps back. Everything is going to turn out just fine. Man, these are the things that you have to understand, and you've got to comprehend if you want to be successful. You want to be successful with your assets, with your money over time. If you're looking to get rich quick, you come to the wrong place. This is not what we're about here on the program. Never have been. Underlying theme here at the Watchdog on Wall Street's always been, everything in life that has meaning, value, and worth involves work, time, and effort. When I'm asked, what are some of the best investments you've made over your career? Some of the best investments that we've made over our career are the investments we didn't make. If that makes any sense. The stuff that we avoided. The stuff that we steer clear from. Sometimes we get criticized. Well, you could have gotten in at the bottom of that one, but you didn't. You bought in much later. Yeah, we're still doing fine. And guess what? I feel a hell of a lot safer. Feel a hell of a lot better, when we decided to buy in. I don't like losses. I don't like to speculate. That's not what we do. That's not what we do. We build portfolios that are built to last so people have choices and options in life. It's called financial, not so much financial planning. I say it again and again and again. It's financial preparation. Got to take a break. Watchdog on WallStreet.com. Watchdog on WallStreet.com. Again, become a part of the Markowski Investments Watchdog on Wall Street family. Sign up for our personal CFO program. Podcast as well. Watchdog on WallStreet.com. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
This is the Watchdog on Wall Street.
Yes, it is the Watchdog on Wall Street show. This is by the way, it's the longest running financial program in the country. Longest running financial program in the country. We continue to grow the program. Obviously, we're also doing the podcast as well, adding new stations time and time again. And listen, some of the things that we discuss here in the program, I get it, are review. I know this. I know. There's review here on the program. Don't look at it as review. Look at it as practicing the fundamentals. Sometimes you need to be reminded of things. You go to church, right? The readings at church don't change. They don't change in any given year. It's the same. Okay, there's certain truth that's out there. And again, this is kind of what we want to get people to get their arms fully around. Anyway, I want to talk briefly on inflation. I mentioned it earlier. The inflation monster's been bothering me for a very long period of time. Granted, it's gone parabolic right now. It has. But it's been with us for a long, long time. Going back to Greenspan, for crying out loud. We were yelling and screaming about the lies, the numbers, and manipulation. We all see it. We all see how far our money goes. Before, obviously we had supply chain issues. We're laughing about it here on the program. I think that the cheapest American car that you could get, I don't even know if it's American, I can't even remember, it was over $15,000. as one of those vehicles, again, that, there's got little bicycle tires there that you can put on a squat rack at the gym and do reps with. Don't tell me there's not inflation. I look at my health care costs. Gone up what? Since Obamacare, 300% more? Plus, more than that, actually. Cost of higher education, cost of food. You name it. It's going up. And again, I get distraught when they start telling us that, hey, some of this inflation's good. The value of their homes are going up. What? Again, how is that good? If the price of homes are going up, how is that good for people looking to buy a home? When you get into the whole home, whether or not it's an investment or not later on. But here's some of the stories just in this past week. Oreo cookies, Ritz crackers, and Sour Patch Kids are going to cost 7% more next year. Inflation notches a fresh 30-year high as measured by the Fed's favorite gauge. But that's okay. They're still going to continue. No matter if it's, they're going to continue to keep printing. They're going to continue to keep printing. Oh, we're not going to be printing as much, but we're going to continue to print up until next June. Stories about stagflation, skimpflation, Fed tapering won't beat inflation. I can go on and on and on. Again, these are things that you need to deal with. This is the terrain. Your portfolio better be able to handle it. Watchdog on wallstreet.com. Watchdog on wallstreet.com. We'll be back.
My love, can I just make some?
The only man who is taking on the Wall Street establishment. You're listening to the Watchdog on Wall Street with Chris Markowski.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm going to try to keep my cool right here. And longtime listeners know that back in the day, back when I was a hell of a lot younger, I used to get really loud, irate here on the program, and I would yell way too much when it came to various different scams and ripoffs and things that we were dealing with around the country. I did have a bit of a come to Jesus moment of epiphany many years into the program where I said, it's not helping. I did yelling and screaming at, people have got to recognize on their own, and I kind of shifted into warning about and telling stories about all these ripoffs and scams, and basically getting more into, just the concept of everything in life that has meaning, value, and worth involves work, time, and effort. Talking more about financial preparation, maybe in the hopes that people will recognize that and they'd be able to avoid all of this risk, all of the crooks that are out there. But again, also as well, I understand human behavior. I understand because I was there. I know what they teach. I know what they teach young schlock brokers out there is, paint the picture and how to go about selling people, how to push greed buttons. Anyway, I saw this. This was out of Fort Worth, Texas. I can't tell you how many times we've basically done this same story here over the years. Again, I try to keep my cool, but I sometimes I go old school and I start yelling. It's my frustration. You got to put yourself in my position. I get frustrated when these things happen. I wish people would listen. Anyway, William Neal Doc Gallagher, self-styled. This is what he called himself, the money doctor. He was sentenced to 3 life sentences plus 30 years, Fort Worth, Texas. Yeah. This is a scheme, Ponzi scheme, that he was running. He bilked senior citizens out of millions and millions of dollars. You know what he did? He basically worked his way through churches, preying on people who believed he was a Christian. He ran the Gallagher Financial Group. He advertised on Christian radio with the tagline, "See you in church on Sunday." He had books, investment books, such as Jesus Christ Money Master. I see things like I mentioned. I talked about Dante and Dante's Inferno and the certain different levels of hell that Dante wrote about, and I think he missed one. I know people. You go to church and you want. This is part of the problem. These are mostly good people that you're going to run into in church and at Bible study and all of these other places. Okay? And people want to believe that other people are good, that they're not criminals, that they're not crooks. I'm just, again, you could decide what you want to do. Okay? You can whatever you want to do. If someone's using the church, somebody's using the church, their faith, a Bible study group, whatever it may be, somebody's soliciting you in a house of worship. Shouldn't that give you pause? It doesn't set off alarm bells to you. It does to me. It does to me because I've been doing this for a very long time. I don't think a week goes by where I don't get another story across my desk with another investment scam that happened in some church group, synagogue, whatever. Doesn't make any difference. These guys know how to prey on you, okay? A lot of times it has to do with certain ethnicities. They'll say there'll be a Korean church or whatever it may be. They know how to wiggle their way in there and get into your good graces. Shouldn't that be off limits? Huh? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Jesus walk into the temple and overthrow the tables and tell everybody, hey, get all the money changers out of here? You think that's a place where you should do business? I'm telling you right now, it's not going to end well. Oh, he's such a nice man. He can cite Bible verses. Yeah. You know who could cite Bible verses too? The best of them is, guess what? Evil people. They can do it too. They just use it to their advantage. Off limits. Okay? Off limits. Don't go there. I see it all the time. Again and again. And it preying on senior citizens. And people get wiped out. Wiped out. Yeah, it's like deal with people that have saved their entire lives, and all of a sudden everything that they've saved, that they've built, was gone. And you know what it feels like for them? Because again, it's like a. Not only did you lose your money, you feel like a fool. You feel like a fool. Be smarter than that, people. Look into who you are doing business with. And yes, I'm sorry. If you got to use your church Bible and you're soliciting people there, shame on you. It's wrong, and you know it's wrong. I got a stack every single week here, right in front of me. Ripoffs and scams from all over the country. These are some of the most prevalent. Watchdog on WallStreet.com. Watchdog on Wall Street. And I'm trying not to yell, and I did again. Watchdog on WallStreet.com. Become part of the Watchdog on Wall Street family, a personal CFO program, all sorts of great stuff. Watchdog on WallStreet.com, or give us a call, 800-471-5984.
If you don't.
Well-known author, investment banker, consumer advocate, analyst, trader. Chris Markowski is the Watchdog on Wall Street.
You want answers?
Exposing the lies and myths that the big brokerage firms, the mainstream press, and the government are pushing to keep Americans away from financial freedom.
You can't handle the truth.
Bringing America the truth about what really happens in the financial world.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're not here to indulge in fantasy, but in political and economic reality.
This is the Watchdog of Wall Street.
All right, welcome, everybody. It is the Watchdog on Wall Street show. Always honored to have you tuned into the program. We ended up last hour of the program with big ripoff and scam and things that yelling and screaming about. I want to do one more. We spend a lot of time doing this stuff, but I want to do one more. Again, you can go back and you could take a look at columns that I've written, stuff that we covered. We have on our website various different columns. One of the categories is Wall Street fraud, and the sheer volume of scams coming out of the big investment houses over the years. It's enough to make you throw up in your mouth and then some. At some point in time, this too. At some point in time, people, you have to do a little bit of homework. I don't understand for the life of me, okay? For the life of me. And again, I'm going to be honest with everybody here. Hey, listen, you're one of those guys out there that have, which is fine, that's great for you. If you've got hundreds of millions, billions of dollars in company stock, or you started a company, the big investment firms are going to be able to help you because you're going to be able to borrow massive amounts of money against that side. That's how it works. I have no problem with that. But if you are somebody that's not in that ballpark, why in the world would you work with a big investment house? They don't give a damn about you. They're publicly traded companies that only care for their shareholders. I saw the story this past week. Another Wells Fargo advisor stealing $3 million from their clients. Wells Fargo, over the past several years, look at the news. You can just do a Google search. The company, it was part of company practice to open up accounts for its customers and forge signatures so they can charge them greater fees. You don't think that the advisors that work at Wells Fargo, you don't think that they know this? Why would they work there? Why wouldn't you just pick up and leave? Because they can, if they choose to. You can choose not to work for these big firms. You can go off on your own. We bring in great advisors all the time that want out from these big investment houses. They can't take it anymore. We welcome that. Why would you work for these organizations? Actually, why do you work at a big firm for? Why? See what they have to say. You get an advisor, Merrill, big Morgan. Why do you work here? Why? Based upon, the things that your firm's, why? Why don't you go off on your own? Anyway, let's get into, I got red meat. Everybody's waiting for Markowski's take on the election this past week. I was up late. I going to bed about 12:20 election night. I got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I was trying to see if any results were going to actually come in, and they did much later. Reading into what's taken place. You get various different publications, websites, anchors out there giving you their spin. They need stuff to talk about. And what I caution right now, I understand Republicans are very excited right now. Very excited right now based upon what has taken place. Okay. The midterms are a long ways away. Presidential election, a long ways away. Do I think Biden is going to be on the 2024 ticket? No. I don't. They'll figure out and out. I don't know who they're going to put on to replace him. Kamala would lose big But let's get our arms around this, okay? The Democrats in many places are still running on anti-Trump. They are. Joe Biden came out this past week. Joe Biden came out this past week, and he said, we lost, but it's because really, really conservative voters turned out. Has nothing to do with his policies, and all we need to do is to pass Build Back Better, and everything is going to be awesome. Right. I think running against bad orange man it doesn't work anymore. Doesn't work anymore. He's not in Washington. He's not in Washington anymore. And I would just, put this out to people out there. By what metric today is the country better off than it was prior to the Biden administration? By what metric? The guy hasn't been in office for a year yet. What is better? Because everything is pretty messed up right now. Supply chain issues. The border is a disaster. Foreign policy. We're all over the place. We don't know, guys, one talking out of one side of his mouth, and we don't know at the other side of his mouth. Energy issues. We're begging OPEC to please pump more oil. By what metric is the country better? And if, basically your answer is, well, but no more bad orange man, no more tweets. Okay. And again, longtime listeners to the program, no, I'm not a member of the Republican Party. Not a member of it. My mother-in-law, it's funny on election night, my mother-in-law looks at the screen and she's like, Kokino. It's red, Greek. Kokino's winning. She, kind of understands the colors, the red and the blue. So she was happy that red was winning. I'm not a member of that red team, okay? I left the Republican long time ago. There were equal opportunity bashers here on the program. I was none too happy. I didn't like Donald Trump's rhetoric by any stretch of the imagination. But many, not all, many of his policies were beneficial to the country. I think he miscalculated on a ton of things. Yeah, absolutely. Let his ego get in the way. He's got to be on television all the time. Those daily briefings there with Fauci and the Scarf Queen and all that stuff. It was just stupid. Tweet after tweet after tweet that he didn't have to put out. And do I think that they'd still go after him? Yeah, of course. That's what they would have done. But the caricature and what they built around him and their ability to, the whole race issue and all the things that went along with that. I mean, come on. Come on. You take a look around the country right now. I think they just about had it. I think the pendulum is starting to swing. Just taking a bit of a temperature right now. From Dave Chappelle, one of my favorite comedians, basically telling the whole woke mob to go take a long walk off a short pier, to where I live on Long Island, very, very populous area here, complete Republican sweep across the entire, all of Long Island. It's amazing if you actually think about it. Minnesota, they had a ballot initiative. A ballot initiative in Minnesota where they were going to defund the police, and it got wrecked. Got wrecked. I don't know if you know about this. Buffalo, New York, there was a socialist on the ticket. There was a Democratic ticket. The write-in candidate beat her. This socialist candidate was backed by AOC and the entire squad and all those leftists, and lost by a write-in candidate. I don't think I've ever heard of such a thing in all my years. Ballot initiatives. ballot initiatives, I'm going to give you some of the ones that were here in New York, had to do with making it very easy to cheat when it comes to election day. And, you can register the vote on that day, and you can vote, 50, all these crazy ballot initiatives that they put on, the left put on, and all of them rejected. In the state of New York. In the state of New York, it was funny. Actually, Mitch McConnell was funny. He said something funny this past week. You equate Mitch McConnell with funny ever. But he actually said, geez, he said the Yankees and the Mets are going to have to move out of the state of New York now. Major League Baseball is going to have to move them. Because, again, the ballot initiatives is basically the same thing that was happening in Georgia, for crying out loud, and they moved the All-Star game. Congratulations to the Braves, by the way. But again, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. There is a lot of work that needs to be done. And I think overall, Republicans, quite frankly, have not been doing it. We have here, I'm not Republican. Okay, I love the ideals of this country. I love the Constitution. I believe in personal responsibility. Again, goes right along with everything in life that has meaning, value, and worth, involves work, time, and effort. I believe it's part of being human is overcoming obstacles and achieving goals. This Build Back Better nonsense, more entitlements, more handouts and giveaways is cancer, is what it is. It's injecting cancer into this country. We should never be, well, we are, but we shouldn't be a welfare state. Welfare states don't become wealthy. They don't build things like we've been able to do throughout our very short history as a nation. Not possible. You look at the per capita GDP at some of these quote unquote socialist countries in Europe, they can't even compare to us here. Not even close. This stuff needs to go away. And Republicans need to go out and teach. Do I think you're also getting kind of blowback from parents and the crap that they're seeing in schools and the stuff that's being shoved down their kids' throats? Yeah. I do believe that's the case. And again, all of this stuff, all of the parents going to school board meetings and all of this, the people in charge, the people in Capital City, they don't like it. Oh, no. People making decisions on their own, thwarting our will. It's like the bloody Hunger Games, for crying out loud. Merrick Garland is like a Biden henchman. Let's go out and get these parents who they don't want to subscribe to our way of thinking. We got to get their minds right. We'll make a list. We'll put them on it. You know how creepy, how scary that is? Again, elections have consequences. I am going to hope, I'm going to pray that this election that's taking place, again, you take a look at local elections around the country. Let's hope it's consequential. Let's hope more and more people get involved in their local communities. I was actually joking about it where I live here. I said they try to pull some of this CRT nonsense and bathroom crap at the public schools where I live. Yeah, not going to happen. Not going to happen. Not around here. We won't let it. So don't let it happen in your community. Got to take a break. WatchdogOnWallStreet.com. WatchdogOnWallStreet.com. Again, I'm inviting you to become a part of our family here at the Watchdog on Wall Street Show. Sign up for our podcast, personal CFO program, all sorts of great stuff there at our site, WatchdogOnWallStreet.com, or give us a call, 800-471-5984. That's 800-471-5984. We'll be back.
You should believe in math, not magic. You're listening to The Watchdog on Wall Street with Chris Markowski.
We spent a great deal of time was last week talking about taxes. taxation and some of the things that the left was coming up with in regards to the Build Back America thing and how they're going to go about paying for this and millionaire tax. It was really embarrassing, quite frankly. Really was. Kind of equated to a bunch of first-year college students in some seminar figuring out how they're gonna solve the world. We're gonna make it better. I mean, taxation on the fly, fly-by-night taxation. This is what we get from our betters, the best and brightest, all of these Ivy League types. Come on. And it's getting so desperate at this point in time. It really is. You've got all of these blue states, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts. Yes, California. All of these blue states. You know what the blue state representatives want? They want a massive tax cut for wealthy people. That's right. Donald Trump put a cap on the state and local tax deduction, put a cap on it of $10,000. Democrats in those blue states want to raise that cap to $72,000. Now, Bernie Sanders found out about that and his hair caught on fire, none too happy. But then they're trying to come up with a compromise, and maybe they're going to put the family leave legislation back in it. They don't know whether they're coming or going. Where's the money going to come from to pay for all of this? You're just going to continue to print more? You're just going to continue to borrow more? Hey, the Treasury this past week, I don't know if you saw that. Yeah, our projections were off. Okay, this is paraphrasing the Treasury right now. Janet Yellen. Our projections were off by a little over like $350 billion. We're going to need to borrow over $1 trillion from October through December. Sorry, we were wrong on that. I got to remind everybody, a billion is 1,000 million. They were off by over $300 billion. They need to borrow now a cool $1 trillion. And I keep thinking of that Coming to America scene there with Simi at the Western Union asking Zamunda to send him more money. $1 trillion. And again, it's embarrassing. You're sending out your Treasury Secretary out every other day to support whatever crap you're throwing at the wall in regards to new taxes. Whatever you're throwing, you send it her, oh, yeah, this wealth tax is going to work, and this is going to work, and this ultra-millionaires tax is going to work. Oh, give me a break. You know, they did come together on, what was it, the stimulus package that's just sitting there. And Nancy tried to get that passed a couple times, and the progressives told her to take a hike. They're not going to go along with that until you start handing out more cash. That's right, giving away cash. Need to hand out more. Joe Manchin's been out there. He calls it the progressive hostage strategy. Again, it's hard to judge right now because, again, most of these people, these politicians, and this is both on the left and right, they stick their finger in the air and they see which way the wind is blowing. And, there's a progressive wind is blowing. We're going to have to go to the left. Yeah, don't do that. It's a representative republic. You were elected into office for a reason, okay? Again, like the progressives, they were put into office by their progressive constituents. Why the hell are you going to go along with the hell they want? Have you lost your mind? Again, get your arms around the spending. Understand what all of these entitlements are doing, the rot that it's causing here in this country. Don't let this stuff pass, for crying out loud. Watchdog on wallstreet.com. Watchdog on wallstreet.com. I don't even want to get into some of the nuances, the universal basic income aspect with the child tax credit. I mean, it's nonsensical. Watchdog on wallstreet.com. Watchdog on wallstreet.com. We'll be back.
Chris Markowski is the Watchdog on Wall Street. Bringing America financial freedom one listener at a time. You're listening to the Watchdog on Wall Street with Chris Markowski.
Should I stay or should I go?
All righty.
If you say that you
Yeah, that was the other big event the past week. The global climate talks. It started out at the G20. Started at the G20 in Rome. And I don't know if you saw, because, of course, you know, it's Democrats are really green. The United States is really green. Biden had an 85-car motorcade. And listen, I love Rome. Been to Rome. I'm trying to visualize an 85-car motorcade in Rome. Okay, I again, there's a couple thoroughfares where that might work, but man, oh man, I can just picture the Italians cursing. Oh my God. Anyway, yeah, they were talking global climate talks at the G20, and they failed to find common ground. You don't say. You don't say. Oh, you really? You failed to find? Oh, I'm so surprised by that. And then we move on. We go on from the G20, where nothing gets accomplished, and we move on to Scotland. Well, we're in Glasgow. We're for the COP26. COP26, and I know it went viral. It went viral. You got Joe Biden falling asleep. Joe Biden falling asleep there. He's tired, sleepy, as Trump calls Sleepy Joe. He's a little tired, falling asleep during the climate thing. I'd fall asleep too. I'd fall asleep too. I got to listen to Prince Charles. I got to listen to these people. Over 400 private jets. Over 400 private jets flying in there. All of these super wealthy people lecturing, literally with their castles and their private airplanes and their huge yachts and all that good stuff. They're going to lecture the world on how we've got to live so they can continue to do whatever the hell they want. Shut up. I'd say it right. Your Highness, shut up. And I don't even call him Your Highness because he's not high to me. Sorry. We beat your ass a little over a couple hundred years ago. Anyway. And you know what's interesting, too? Okay. Didn't hear this story. In, all over the UK, the wind wasn't blowing again. Nope. The wind wasn't blowing again. And all of their windmill farms, they weren't working. Again, don't believe me? Look it up. They had to pay. There's 2 remaining coal-fired plants that they had to pay almost 4,000 pounds per megawatt hour, which was 100 times the normal wholesale price because their windmills weren't working. So coal-fired plants kept COP26 on. Kept the lights on at COP26. Okay, it's funny, the irony of it. See, I remember Al Gore would be giving speeches in New York City. He's at some climate change, global warming speech he was giving, and it would always occur like one of the coldest days of the entire year. You want more BS? I'll give you more BS. Again, because they have to say that they did something. Have to say that they actually accomplished, they actually did something. So they said that the COP26 leaders agreed to end deforestation by 2030. Yet there's no plan. It's not legally binding. They haven't discussed how this plan is going to be executed, how it's going to be policed. So what you have here is nothing. Zip, zero, zilch, nada. But it made for a nice press release. It made for a nice press release to make, all the good little liberals all across the world excited and thrilled. But come on, people. We all know what this is. A big waste of our dollars. Big waste of tax dollars. A waste of money from around the globe. You didn't do a damn thing. And you know it. And you can go back and you can take a look at these conferences from years gone by. COP conferences of the past. The ghosts of the COP conferences past. Yes. Oh, we're going to pay $1 trillion, almost $1 trillion to all of these developing countries to help them put up windmills too. What happened to that? Well, no, that didn't happen. Not going to happen. Again, you need to understand the racket that this is. It was a racket. It was a racket back when Biden was in charge of the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. And it's a racket today. Unless you're talking actually nuclear power, okay, you've lost me. You've lost me. Because you have a way, we have technology to go about dealing with this, yet you still keep talking about your stupid windmills. Anyway, watchdogonwallstreet.com. Watchdogonwallstreet.com. Take advantage. Again, all the great stuff we have at our site, watchdogonwallstreet.com, our 24-hour-a-day help hotline, 800-471-5984.
Taking Wall Street's liars, crooks, and cheats out behind the woodshed. You're listening to the Watchdog on Wall Street.
I love that it's a 1980s book, Rising Sun. They turned it into a movie. It had Sean Connery and Wesley Snipes. And in the movie, Sean Connery was he's pointing out a Japanese trait. He said, rather than place blame, that's how it goes. Rather than place blame, fix the problem. Fix the problem, don't place blame. Well, if you take a look at the current administration, they're awesome. They haven't done anything wrong. It's everyone else's fault. You're paying higher prices, but it's not our fault here at the administration. Not our fault for shutting down domestic production or getting rid of pipelines. Nope. It's those evil Russians and Saudis out there. They're not producing enough oil. I mean, you people that voted for this guy, support this guy, do you understand how stupid this sounds? How do you even go along with this type of BS? It's Russia and Saudi Arabia's fault that we're paying so much at the pump? No. People, it's ours. Take a good, hard look at the mirror. Yeah, everybody's complaining out there. Oh, my God, this is ridiculous. We voted for this, people. We voted for this. I have this attitude when it comes to all of this stuff, and I kind of let it roll off my back because it is what it is. It's the terrain. We did this to ourselves. This is all self-inflicted. You get it? And you get publications out there. Russia's a bully. Putin's a bully. He's using his home advantage there to take advantage of the Europeans. Again, this is the Wall Street Journal. This is an editorial Wall Street Journal. Vladimir Putin can smell weakness like a wolf. And these days, he's preying on Europe's energy emergency to increase his influence at the European Union's periphery. Yeah. we would do the exact same thing. Anybody smart would do the exact same thing. Take advantage of it. What? It's Putin's fault that the Europeans are morons, shut down all of their nuclear power plants, decided to just get all of their energy from him? I mean, he must be. I can't believe our good fortune. They're going to totally rely on us for their energy needs outside of their stupid solar panels and windmills. And Putin's the bad guy? No. Their stupidity. Anyway, yeah, again, White House begs back to increase oil production again. Supply issues, soaring energy prices. People, there's no excuse for this. There's no excuse for us. We should be energy independent. Why not take advantage of it? Watchdog on WallStreet.com. Watchdog on WallStreet.com. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
You're listening to the Watchdog on Wall Street. This is the Watchdog on Wall Street.
I saw a werewolf with a Chinese menu in his hand, walking through the streets of Soho in the rain.
This song.
He was looking for the place called Lee Ho Fooks.
Whenever I hear this song, Warren Zevon, you know what I think the Werewolf of London is for some reason? Mitt Romney. His hair was perfect. Anyway, welcome back. It is the Watchdog on Wall Street show. Again, reminder, equal opportunity bashers here on the program. I have to share with everybody this story. This was just awesome. It really was. I've been critical of Elon Musk in the past and some of the shenanigans that he's done with First Solar and whatnot and Tesla. But, again, you know, Elon, loving life. We, taxpayer, helped build his company with subsidies for his cars. There was an article that was put out by it was David Beasley. David Beasley is the director of the UN's World Food Program. David Beasley, I'm a bureaucrat, and I work at the UN. And I'm special. I get to go to all the fancy restaurants and attend all the fancy cocktail parties. And you should love me. My name is David Beasley, and I work at the UN. And not only that, I work at the World Food Program. Yeah, when kids come for Halloween and they got the little UNICEF thing, I'm like, no. No money to the UN. Again, I'm getting off the beaten track. I thought Trump should have told the UN to move their headquarters to Port-au-Prince, Haiti, or maybe how about Darfur and the Sudan, and taken that real estate there on the east side of Manhattan and done something great with it. Anyway, so David Beasley is telling world billionaires that they need to step up to the plate. They need to step up now. Pointing the finger at Musk and Jeff Bezos. Said, give me $6 billion to help 42 million people that are literally going to die if we don't reach them. It's not complicated. He used the word literally like my teenage daughter uses the word literally. I don't think he understands what the word literally means. Okay? Musk, really? Musk points out to David Beasley that the World Food Program happened to raise $8.4 billion in 2020. How come you didn't solve world hunger with that $8.4 billion that you had last year? No. We're still $5.3 billion short of the amount needed. So wait a second. 42 million people are going to die unless you get that additional 5.3 billion. What are you doing with that 8.4 billion? So Musk basically came out and he said, you describe to me, you tell me, Mr. UN David Beasley, okay, exactly how my $6 billion will solve world hunger. I will sell Tesla stock right now and do it. Guess what? You get any reply from the UN? Get any reply from David Beasley and all those bureaucrats? No. It's a racket. It's a racket, and we all know it. You know, money can help to solve problems. It's an ingredient in solving problems, but it's not the recipe, right? You're baking a cake, and you need eggs to bake the cake or flour, whatever it may be. It's a part of it, but there's other things that you're going to need too. And too many, it's a problem. People just think money can solve everything. It can't. You take a look at schools, education. We'll get into that next hour on the program. Mark Zuckerberg, again, a guy gives me I'm sorry. Does not creep you out at all? Did you see his little metaverse thing? He's changed the name of Facebook to Meta, and he wants to have this entire virtual reality vision for the future. Listen, if it comes to that, I'm out. No. You know what I'm going to be? I'm going to be like Morpheus from the Matrix, and I'm going to try to blow up his little metaverse. What the hell is wrong with you people? You want to put headsets down and live in a virtual world? Why? Have you ever taken a hike or walked through nature and actually kind of seen what a beautiful world this is? You want to live in some sort of virtual world? Why? Why would you do that? Again, literally, you watched the press conference, and I felt like he was basically trying to get everybody to sign on to the Matrix. We're just, you know what we'll do? We'll just plug ourselves into the computer. If you remember in the movie The Matrix, one of the guys in the movie actually was a traitor. Actually went to the little agents there and said, listen, okay, I want to be put back in the Matrix, but when you put me in my little virtual world, I want to be rich and I want to be, virtually all of these things. Do you think people actually want that? They would rather live in a fake world? I guess. I mean, I'm still amazed by, people addicted to all of these video games. They market computers. Oh, it's a great computer for gaming. Pick up a ball, a bat, a basketball, a soccer ball, a lacrosse stick. Get a life, for crying out loud. Put the Cheetos down. Put the sugary soda down. Get outside and play. Watchdog on WallStreet.com. Watchdog on WallStreet.com. Yes, the world according to Markowski. Every week, right here. But you can have it every day. You have our podcast as well. You can sign up for it at our website, watchdogonwallstreet.com. Back.
Chris Markowski is the watchdog on Wall Street.